please give me a short visit card or a mail, or take one of these leaflets. The mail address is mentioned there. Coming to thank you for the invitation that I can add something. I was in Sudan several times now, partly on the invitation of the government, partly on business trips. And I must say, if I get a ticket for the next flight to Sudan, I will take it immediately and go down. There are several reasons. One of it is nobody of these people who writes a lot in the newspapers have ever been there. If you be there, you learn the people, you talk with them, you find them very, very friendly, smiling, hosting everybody, and you never have any anxious for in politics or the people sitting around. Everybody is willing to talk to you. You can have any appointment at the minister's office if he's available, but if he's not there, it's not possible, of course. But you get the people, you can talk to them. I have been in Khartoum, I have been in El Fasher, in Darfur, I have been in Nyala, I have been in Juba. I mean, Juba is, of course, it's a little bit difficult area, but we have seen in Darfur much less happening than we have felt in the south of Sudan. So the visits which we had discussions with ministers, state secretary, even President Bashir had time for us for half an hour, to discuss the main subject of Sudan, and he asked Europe to do something, to come to Sudan and to do something in Sudan. We had the possibility to talk to Red Cross, to UNAMIS, to UNAMID, to all the organizations. We could get anybody whom we want to talk to. We talked to the EU the institutions in Khartoum, whereas we have already an office with 50 people there around, and they're spending a lot of money. So I think there is a good reason even for the Europeans to be there in time and not to leave the doors open for the Chinese, Malaysians and the other people around. And that's in my feeling is also the point why they, just to talk a little bit of the political side, if you allow me, why there are the difficulties with the referendum now. Because the CPA was quoted very clearly that it is a CPA for unity and not for separation. That was stated in 2005. But in the meantime, the worldwide politics got the impression that they have to do something there. The Chinese and the Malaysians, they are there already. They're spending an awful lot of money. They're getting out the oil. And in the meantime, all the others, the Western countries, the US, recognized that they are getting not their foot on the ground there. So what they, in my opinion, my personal opinion, what they do is to try to get the center of the black African area to get the power on in these countries. And that's why they put money to force the separation. So we will see what happens after the referendum. But one thing is, for me, is evident: the south of the Sudan and the north, they are one country, and I think the people feels like that. But according to the opinion of the leaders, they will vote. That's the point. So we'll see in 3 months' time. We will have the results, and hopefully we will get a peaceful future for this enormous, rich country, and everybody who wants to go there, either for culture, for business, for humanitarian, anything what you want to do, you can do it there. And you really, everything is open for you to come and to do whatever you like. Thank you very much, and if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to call me.
Thank you very much, Diplom Engineer Slatin, for these personal practical things which has been faced in Khartoum and other towns in Sudan. Now we do have a brilliant head of Sudan. He is actually the architecture of the economy and finance in the current Republic of Sudan. And I would like to start by asking him and giving him later on the floor by how did you manage to get twice Minister of Finance? It's really incredible. So the floor is yours, Minister.
I did this because I was a fool. We have an Arab proverb, an Islamic proverb, which says, a true believer cannot be beaten from the same scorpion twice. So, either shows I am a fool or I am not a true believer. You take your choice. Anyway, let us start by thanking you very much indeed for coming this afternoon and thanking the austro-arab Chamber of Commerce and beyond that the Columbus Symposium. Something which really impressed me about that symposium is the student connection. I think there is a prominent student presence in that symposium, so I understand from your introduction this morning. I was myself very active in student politics since 1954. I think all of you were not in this life at that time, or most of you. But this landed me in China in 1960 as a student, and there, in that part of the world, they really respected the students. So we were ushered into the presence of Mao Zedong, Zhou Enlai, Liu Shaoxi, those historical figures, because we opted to come to China as students, and the Chinese were very humble at that time and saying that we want to learn from you, and they showed us everything we wanted to show, even their prisons, and they were at the beginning of their great leap forward, and the commune experience, which is a very strange piece of social engineering. Anyway, China today is a different world. But we started with China when it started. That's why I am hopeful for ourselves. I am very hopeful for our third world. I am very hopeful for my country, which in a few weeks' time may actually develop or split into two countries. 1 million square miles or 2.5 square kilometers was a source of joy and pride for us. We always started our speeches, as did the ambassador now, with this fact. We are not only the largest country in Africa, but also in the Arab world. All our feasibility studies start with this fact. I started to hate it, but it is a fact that gives us some joy, because inside that country, inside that perimeter, there are over 140 languages and tribes. There is such a diversity that really, it is very, very sweet news for the anthropologist. I am an anthropologist of sorts. I studied anthropology, so I will miss that aspect of Sudan. I am here today to sell you the unified Sudan you are familiar with. I hope it continues to be unified, or if it is split technically and legally, it will continue to cooperate. We take the European Union as a model where we can cooperate, as the Europeans did cooperate since 1958 Steel and Coal Agreement in Rome, if you remember. Since that time, there were various stages for the cooperation. We may pick up something, we definitely will pick up something from you. To elaborate on some of the ideas presented by our ambassador here, in the Sudan we have 5 types of gold. 5 types of gold. We have green gold, which is agriculture. The mainstay of the majority of our population, 70%. It is about 36% of the GDP. We grow a variety of cereal crops, sorghum, wheat, groundnuts, sesame, and other oil-bearing crops. Green and natural fodder, because all of our agriculture is organic, natural. This fodder is now well sought of in the whole of the Arab world. It is bringing good business to the country, because of the water table in most of these countries has completely vanished. And so they have abandoned agriculture and they are now importing green fodder from Sudan. But the real success story now, which is developing in Sudan, is that we have a plan to grow 10 million tons of sugar. We are going to be, I think, if not bigger than Brazil, but just about Brazil, and bigger than Cuba in terms of sugar. And we are starting a number of big factories to process this sugar. Austria is present within this big project because the Andritz pumping is part of most of these projects. Andritz is a very well-known name in Sudan. It's very powerful and very enduring water pumps. So you are helping us to really grow, and we are thankful and grateful for that. And we have actually some of the huge projects. Some of them are the biggest in the world. Definitely one of the biggest is the Kinana Sugar Company. It is attributed to be the biggest project in the world. We have red gold, which is meat. We have an extensive animal wealth, as the ambassador has said, of 140 millions of cattle, sheep, goats, and camels. We export about 2 million heads per year to the Arab world. This could easily go up to 5 million with proper investments in modern ranching, slaughterhouses, cold stores, air and sea transport, and marketing, which is open to anybody to come and help. Our most important area for development is waiting for foreign investments. You are most welcome to do that. The total demand of the Arab world for this meat, cereals, sugar, and oil seeds is nearly $30 billion. And in the Sudan, we produce all these elements, but at a very low level of productivity. And we have the market around us, the Arab world, with such a huge. So actually, we have a ready opportunity for foreign investments, absolutely ready. We have yellow gold, which is gold, as you know it. There is now a gold rush in the Sudan similar to the one that happened in California at the beginning of the 19th century, and you have all seen it in the cowboy films. Hundreds of thousands of our people are engaged in the rudimentary exploration with their own bare hands, very rudimentary tools, all over the country. They are getting gold by scratching the earth. This is a true story. In the north, in the west, in the south, eastern Sudan, a Sudanese French company, they started, the BRGM, started this process in the 1990s. They sell, or they used to sell about $50 to $60 million worth of gold every year. Now the production of gold has gone up suddenly to 300 to 400 million by a very conservative estimate every year. In the last few months, or possibly about 18 to 24 months, 41 companies from all over the world have signed for gold exploration in the Sudan. This is gold rush on the proper level. For investors, I say, don't wait. Come on now, or the gold rush will be over. Then we have white gold, which is cotton. Sudan was the second in the world after Egypt in the production of very fine cottons, the extra long staple of cottons. It has experienced a reduction in the volume, but now it is staging a strong comeback because of the renewed governmental investments at the federal, state, and local state. And we are regenerating our ginning capacity. And this is helped by an increase in the price of cotton, which has not happened in the last 140 years. So cotton, which is called